Good afternoon, gentlemen, and everyone who's here live and will watch this back on playback. Welcome to Spike Kool-Aid Wednesday. 'Twas the day before Thanksgiving, November 23rd, 2022. Sorry about the show yesterday, or lack of show yesterday. Had a really busy day, man. Got the TV that I've wanted my entire life, an 85-inch Samsung. Man, wanted this TV my entire life. Hooked it up. Finally took my PlayStation 5 out the box. I'm excited. It's beautiful. I will be watching everything on that coming up. So, yeah, Black Friday, $400 off, man. Remember when TVs used to be like $1 billion and heavy? And now I was able to bring this down. I had to go get a U-Haul because delivery was unavailable. So I had to go get a U-Haul and bring it to me and get it myself. It was ridiculous. But the good news is they gave me the U-Haul on E. The U-Haul was on E, man. So they gave me a discount for actually putting gas in it. And I'm like, bruh, so the person before me must have didn't bring it back. And yeah. So they gave me a discount, probably charged him. But anyway, I hope everybody is well. D Reese is in the building. Patty Greaves, Gaddy, what's going on? Vision, Mr. Poole. Thank you. No, Vision. I'm going to get Ratchet and Clank, man. I love me some Ratchet and Clank. Been a fan for the last 20 years. Have played every Ratchet and Clank game. I absolutely adore the Ratchet and Clank series. So that will be my first game. Horizon Forbidden West. I could start a whole channel on video games and movies. But we are here to talk about our Detroit Lions. Shout out to Motown Coop. Volcano, what's going on? Lions Mania in the building. Listen. The Lions got a big game so far. They got a big game tomorrow. Man. And I'm just going to go ahead and tell y'all right now that I think that we getting a dub tomorrow. Mr. Poole says I must have been super annoyed yesterday. I was just dropping all the interesting things in your DMs yesterday. No, Mr. Poole, that's why I wasn't responding, bro, because I had to rent the U-Haul, go get it, bring it in, and I refused to not set it up last night. So listen, D. Reese says I am currently playing Ratchet and Clank and God of War, bro. Those are the only two games I've been playing this past week. Yeah, A Rift Apart, bro. I can't wait. I am a huge Ratchet and Clank fan. I've played every single Ratchet and Clank that they've made, and I absolutely adore it. So yeah, absolutely got Horizon Forbidden West. I'm not gonna get any PS5 games like how you convert them up. But anyway, let's get into the talk, man. Let's get into the talk. The Detroit Lions have a really big game tomorrow, a huge game tomorrow, and we are 10.5-point underdogs right now. 10.5-point underdogs. David versus Goliath. Oh, D. Reese, no, that's not what I do, bro. I don't spoil at all. So you're playing, I forgot the name, Nexus, or I think it's one after that one. But listen, we can talk about that all day. The Detroit Lions, they're getting some love. But not enough. The world seems to think that we are going to get absolutely assassinated tomorrow. And I can understand that. A lot because the Buffalo Bills are Super Bowl favorites where they were to start the season, okay? And had a little bit of a lull, right, in the middle of the season. But so far, they have been playing pretty well. And our Thanksgiving history has not been that great, okay? However, I had to get on today so I can make sure I touch base with y'all. See how y'all were feeling before we went to tomorrow. Hey, Grid, do you play any Madden? I've not played Madden since 2006 on PlayStation 2. Once it went to PlayStation 3, I have not played Madden since then. And I've heard it is utter doo-doo. the NFL needs to take it from EA. But anyway, Marcus says, I fail an upset. Jay says that spread getting covered LOL, but do you think they should double digs? I do not. I do not. Hoosier Gaddy says the JMO vibes going around media is awesome. Yeah, I saw the interview yesterday. So let's do this. All right. I don't know how many segments we're gonna have today. I'm kind of chill today. I'm mellow. But the Detroit Lions are in a tough place because they haven't won on Thanksgiving in a while. So let's go ahead and get this segment in. Probably do a couple segments today. So the Detroit Lions have a huge task in front of them tomorrow. They are playing the Buffalo Bills, the 7-3 Buffalo Bills, the Buffalo Bills that just played in Ford Field, the Buffalo Bills that beat the Cleveland Browns, and the Buffalo Bills that people said were Super Bowl favorites to start the season. And we play very, very hard on Thanksgiving, but we haven't won in a long time. Now, this Thanksgiving game has been around for a long time. And the past two Thanksgivings, all right, were losses. But there's one in particular. Last year was a 14-16 loss to the Chicago Bears. And I'm glad that the NFL kind of spruced it up. They didn't give us any primetime games, but they gave us a matchup against the Buffalo Bills, the AFC juggernaut Buffalo Bills, the Goliath of the AFC, or so it seemed when the season started. And in 2020, 2 years ago, everyone remembers, that was the game that got Matt Patricia fired. A absolute blowout loss, to the Deshaun Watson-led Houston Texans. We got a 40 burger put on us, right? And 2 days later, Matt Patricia was fired. But when was the last time the Detroit Lions won a playoff game? A Thanksgiving game. According to Brad Berriman, now we had an article from him last week. He says the Lions have 14 of their last 18 Thanksgiving Day games and 5 straight. Okay, so he missed a word. Somebody really need to look at these guys. Somebody really need to proofread this stuff, because this is all busted. But their last Turkey Day win came in 2016 when we beat the Minnesota Vikings 13-16. Matthew Stafford went 23 for 40 for 232 yards with a touchdown in the game for the Lions. Theo Riddick had 9 carries for 45 yards and 5 catches for 13 yards. Anquan Boldin was on this team. Golden Tate was on this team. Marvin Jones was on this team. Matt Prater was on this team. We have not won on Thanksgiving, okay, in 6 years. 6 years. And tomorrow is going to be a task for sure. And I said this when we started the show. I think the Lions pull it off. If you haven't heard, tomorrow is looking like standing room only. They're telling you to get there early because they are expecting a crowd of 66,000 people. 66,000 people. Now, I believe Ford Field only holds 64. But either way, it's going to be a crowd, baby. So you better get down there early. Even if you have your seat, you're still going to want to beat traffic. You're going to want to tailgate, whatever. $66,000 people. That is what is estimated to be there tomorrow. Patty says, how many Buffalo fans? I would say at least 45% of the stadium. But y'all got to remember, this game sold out before the season began. This game sold out was the first one that I remember hearing about sold out before the season even started. I think the Detroit Lions, playing inspired football, have not won in 6 years on this day. I think they come out and get this dub. And I didn't feel like that until about 8 hours ago. Right as I was ending my day, I'm just looking at the swag of this team. I'm looking at Jared Goff. I'm looking at Jamal Williams. I'm looking at the defense that after they fired Aubrey Pleasant, after they had the players only meeting, after TJ Hawkinson gets traded, all of a sudden this team comes alive. Now tomorrow is a game that I think we have no business winning, but I think we do. Josh Allen is not 100%. And he likes to throw interceptions. He has 21 touchdowns, but he has 10 interceptions. Matthew says I have to give them an L because Okudah is out. If we don't win tomorrow, we don't make the playoffs. That could be very true. Very true, Lions Mania. But about Jeff Okudah being out, don't forget Jeff Okudah was out for at least a third of the game against the New York Giants, and we pulled it off. Now, the New York Giants don't have a Stephon Diggs. But if you look at the statistics for the Buffalo Bills, there are two people that beat you. Buffalo, on offense, that is, for the Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs. Now, the entire defense we have to worry about, especially Von Miller. We got to watch number 40 at all costs. And I hope that DeAndre Swift is on his A game tomorrow because we're going to need him. We're going to need to get that ball out of Jared Goff's hands very quick because that defense is going to be coming for him. But the Lions have not won on Thanksgiving in 6 years. This day has so much value, so much history. And of late, it's been mired with losing. On this game is what got Matt Patricia fired. No one can forget Sheila Ford with the hands to the head. I believe the Detroit Lions pull off an upset. And if they do, forget game of the year. How about upset of the year? If they do this, this is the guaranteed turning point in the season for the Lions. You're talking about 5 losses straight, 4 wins straight. A Jacksonville Jaguar opponent that's coming after we all thought. We all been okey-doke by the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jacksonville Jaguars were 2-1. I'm not saying we beat them. I'm saying they're beatable. They're stompable. Let's be real. They also could beat us just as easily as we can beat them. But I tell you what, winning 4 straight, beating an AFC Super Bowl contender, you think we going to let the Jags come into our house and beat us? Oh, no. You think we going to let the Minnesota Vikings come into our house with TJ Hawkinson after we gave them the first game? Oh, no. If the Detroit Lions beat the Buffalo Bills, we could be looking at 6 in a row. 6 in a row. Now, of course, we got to win tomorrow. We have to win tomorrow, and I'm not looking past tomorrow by any means. I'm saying this team that is playing tomorrow knows that they've lost 6 straight on Thanksgiving. They know that Matt Patricia got fired from this Thanksgiving game, and they know that no one is expecting them to win. And that crowd is going to fire them up. Yeah, Bills Mafia may be there, but we going to be there too. I think the Detroit Lions win this game. Put themselves on the map to be real contenders with the win tomorrow. Let me know what you think down below. Man, oh man. That was just hearing those words come out of my mouth that the Detroit Lions win. What's up, Hunley? If I don't answer your comment, it's usually because the segment I'll get thrown off. Patty says, J-Mo coming back. Grid, I'm afraid our secondary is going to get lit up. I mean, we got to worry about Gabriel Davis, but we got to worry about Stephon Diggs. And we got to worry about the leading rusher on the Buffalo Bills, which is not Singletary. It is their big old lumberjack quarterback, Josh Allen, we have to worry about him. 100%. Jay says Lions win 32-28 with the safety. That'd be fantastic. Listen, I said this yesterday in my video, or today in my video, about the swag that this team has. This team got swag. Grid, I got Detroit beating Buffalo and Minnesota. That's a big test, Volcano. I can see it happening. Matthew says, want the win bad, but this is a good test to see where we are. That's facts. I think the Giants were a decent test too, but not the same test as this. Zay speaks truth. What's up, Zay? Okay, this can't be the same, Zay, because you would be moderated. You're a moderator. They've been in every game, so I believe in them. That is actually, they've been in every game but really won. That Patriots game, they were out from the very beginning. They just looked out of it. What's up, Nick? Says, toughest game of the year by far. But you know what, y'all? If you think about this, Buffalo is beatable. They are beatable. I think because their defense, right? They've been on the cusp since basically Josh Allen's second or third year. And I think that the Buffalo Bills are not who you think they are. Like, really. Josh Allen is a beast. That man can do almost anything he wants. Like, seriously. He can throw with a bum elbow for 70 yards. And he will beat you single-handedly. But he will also lose you the game single-handedly. You see what happened? Dominating, had the game on the line in overtime and threw it straight to Patrick Peterson. If the Lions win tomorrow, that is a big, big deal. A huge deal. And I'm telling you, I think we're going to be the hottest thing. We would go undefeated in the month of November for the first time in 60 years. The Lions have not gone undefeated in the month of November since 1962. My mother was 5 years old. And I would have to believe that that's a big deal. And I would have to believe that we would have the best record in the month. David says Buffalo is overlooking the Lions. They could be. Just have to capitalize on Allen's mistakes 100%. And that is why we've been winning these games, because we have been getting turnovers. However, there is a negative about tomorrow's game. Hey, that was well before I was born. I wasn't born for another 17 years, Patty. Tomorrow, something that all Lions fans have been dreading. Cleat Blakeman will handle the officiating duties. Now, Mr. Blakeman doesn't like the Detroit Lions. He is the head ref that called the 2 illegal hands to the face back in 2019 in Lambeau, a game we remember all too well. There's no way the Detroit Lions were going to go into Lambeau and beat the Green Bay Packers. And we have him tomorrow. I remember that day like it was yesterday. Trey Flowers didn't really have much to say. He was upset. We were upset. And it was a day I'll never forget. That is the day I realized that the NFL was what I thought it was. And that I had to change my view on this thing. But that's going to be tough. So we're going to have to overcome that. But the way we've been playing disciplined football. Over the past 3 weeks, we've been the ones. Now, yeah, we got away with a few. It was a few delayed games that, we got away with last week. I'm not going to lie. But the week before that, the win against Chicago, we had, 2 penalties? Something like that? On the Lions? We have a couple false starts, too, that we got along. I'm not going to, I'm going to keep it a buck. I'm going to call a spade a spade. But We've been playing clean, disciplined football. So because of that, I think that we can still win the game whether or not he's there or not. Now, listen, one of the reasons that I think that we win tomorrow is because of the confidence that our team has. I know Buffalo is the team that we should lose to. The spread is ridiculous. Their defense is top 5. And we got no business winning this game. But I think we do. Because winning, while we were back, now, when I say we as a collective fan base, not one person in particular, but a collective fan base was on the tank train. Was on the tank train, right? And what do you know? 3 weeks later, 3-game winning streak, the possibility of doing something we haven't done in 60 years, and now the hype is real. And I think the players feel it too. After the loss against the Miami Dolphins, Aubrey Pleasant gets fired. And somebody mentioned it earlier today. Somebody mentioned it about how we were in every game. We really were, except the New England Patriots. If you look back at these games, we led at the half in a lot of them. We led against the Minnesota Vikings. We led against the Miami Dolphins. We led against the Dallas Cowboys. No, I'm sorry. We were down 6-3. But it was 6-3. Right? No, it was. We did lead. We did lead because in Dallas scored right. We did lead. It was 6-3 us. Right? Either way, we've led in a lot of these games. I mean, convincingly. Miami, we was up quite a bit. We was up by like 10, something like that, 27-17. Minnesota, we gave that game away at the end. Okay? The players are buying in. The fans are buying in. And I think no matter what happens tomorrow, the players are buying in. The fans are buying in. That is a big deal. And I think we're going to see that on display tomorrow. Campin says, hit the like, y'all. Appreciate that, man. These videos, that's cool because these live streams don't get a lot of likes, but it's because nobody really does it. I think YouTube needs to make it a little easier for you to like it when you're in a live chat. You can't do anything but chat. You have to leave the stream, I think, and like the video. Leave the chat. So what do y'all think is going to happen tomorrow, man? What do you think? Who wins this game? You can be honest. It's a safe space. I flipped last night. Okay, Mr. Poole, I appreciate you, man. So I upgraded to iOS 16 yesterday, and it's very weird looking. I got to get used to it. Now, I want to say something because I don't know if y'all ready for this. Marcus says Lions. Everybody versus Detroit says Lions. Who'd you get? Gaddy says 30-17 Lions. Tate says, I've been a Lion fan for 30 years. I feel like it's our time now. Josh Allen, Lions on the Allen INT. Now, I'll tell you what. If he wasn't playing, I'd say Dub City. We would. Case Keenum is not all that. Now, we talked about this earlier, and I'll make this brief. The Lions anticipating second largest home game crowd in Ford Field. Oh, my God. Let me try that one more time. The Lions anticipating second largest home game crowd in Ford Field's 20-year history. We talked about it early. 66,000 people. In 2011, for Monday Night Football against the Chicago Bears, the 65,000 seat venue packed in 67,861. That was a record for Ford Field. It only holds 65,000 people. They're saying that they don't expect the 67,000 record to be beaten, but this is the second highest attended game on track to be right now. Nick says, I think Buffalo gets a big, then we come back. 42-31 Bills. And listen, Nick is usually super optimistic. However, not this time. He's not. And I'm okay with that because we really shouldn't be in this game. But I think we are. 100%. Now, I wanted to share something with y'all. And I'll do this because I think tomorrow's going to be big. Tomorrow is like our Super Bowl. It really is. And you know what, Nick? I understand that, bro. And my head says we're going to lose this game. My heart says we're going to win it. Lions Mania says, Grid, I have to be honest, I don't think we win tomorrow, but I hope so. It's time for this city to make a change in the team. Now, listen. I'm not trying to convince you guys, and this whole show might be about this one game. But I'm not trying to convince you guys that we're going to win. My job is not to change your mind. Okay, but I do want to say something. I'm a play defense attorney right now as to why I believe the Detroit Lions are going to win this game. We're entering the 11th game of the year, okay? If you look back at our miserable team, and I use the word miserable because when this year started, no one but Dan Campbell was saying that this team was capable of winning. Not you, not me, not any social media pundit. I think the closest one, I think the closest one was Peter King. Now, Peter King said something that really stuck to me, and I brought it up last week about the Detroit Lions being the rich strike of the NFL. And if you remember my prediction last year or earlier this year, I had us exactly where we are right now. We lose tomorrow, we go 4-7. We win the next 5 games. Now I understand how much of a stretch that is. But is it? We're halfway there right now. And we're not even playing bad teams, like horrible teams. The Jaguars, horrible team. The Jets, falling apart. Who's going to be their quarterback? Joe Flacco? No, Mike White. Right? I have seen over this as we're losing and we see the losses, it's hard to see what Dan Campbell was saying. I think we're right there. Jared Goff was saying, we're not right there. We're not getting there. We're there. And all we saw was losses. Man, get up out of here, bro. All we heard is flapping at the gums. Because we saw dumb decisions being made by Dan Campbell. We saw Jared Goff being Jared Goff, fumbling, throwing interceptions. Don't forget about the 2 losses that the entire Lions fan base wanted to blame on Jared Goff's pick 6. He had 2 of them. We lost both. But now that we're winning and you reflect back on the beginning of the season, we were right there. But what was I saying in week 2 or 3? One stop. The defense couldn't stop nobody. It could be a baby running through there, and that baby would score a touchdown. What did I say? One stop. That one stop came against the Green Bay Packers. That one stop came against the Chicago Bears, and we dominated the Washington football team. Once the offense was clicking, the defense could not stop anyone. If they do, maybe we beat. Remember, don't forget the Philadelphia Eagles had to stop the bleeding because we was coming. And they had to put that thing away. Because I sincerely believe if we get that ball back against the Philadelphia Eagles, we win the game. Offense was on fire. Minnesota Vikings, what happened then? Dan Campbell. didn't trust his offense. When he trusted them, we won. Don't forget, it was a 3rd and 7, something like that, or 4th and 5. We didn't have a field goal kicker at the time. He kicks a field goal when this man, do you know that the Detroit Lions went for it? What was that? 6 times in one game. We went for it on 4th down, I want to say 12 times in 2 games. Nick says, and we were in the Dallas game until the Jamal fumble. When Jamal fumbled, the whole thing just fell apart. That's why he took it so hard. So I'm not trying to convince you that we're going to win tomorrow. I'm just saying, now that we're winning, look back. Look back at our losses. Look how close they were. 1 stop. 1 better coaching decision. We win. The Lions could very well, to keep it a buck, be 8-2. This team that nobody had given any credit to could be 8-2, real talk. They stopped Rashard Penny because we was going to win. I sincerely believe we get the ball back against the Seattle Seahawks. We win. Nobody could stop anybody. And they got 1 extra stop than we did. So I'm not trying to fluff you. I'm not trying to hype you. I'm not trying to feed you Kool-Aid. I'm saying with this team, this defense, our offense was so potent that all we needed to do was make 1 stop, and we couldn't do it. Rashard Penny, up, busted wide open. Our offense was rolling. Because, see, when we played the Seahawks, don't forget, we were still the number 1 offense in the league. I think now we're 8th or 9th. And I would much rather be 8th or 9th and have wins than be number 1 and be 9-1 or 1-9. I'm sorry. Dern says the Minnesota loss was the biggest letdown. Dern, you speaking facts, bro. We gotta next year, week 3. You know what I want? Domination. I want to be 3-0. I want to come out and stomp whoever we play week 3, because week 3 was it for the past 2 seasons has been the season that is the week that has destroyed us. Justin Tucker's miraculously long field goal, 66 yards, right? This year, we're dominating. Remember, nobody gave us a chance. I think we were 5 or 6 point underdogs. And see, that's why I think tomorrow the Buffalo Bills need to be scared of us. That's why I think the Buffalo Bills need to be scared of us, because we owned the Minnesota Vikings. But here comes bad coaching decisions and a raggedy defense. Don't forget, we lost Swift that game. Don't forget, we lost St. Brown that game as well. Right? The Buffalo Bills need to be scared of us because, A, we got nothing to lose. Both of these teams are 3-2 in their last 5 games. Buffalo's coming off the game of the year and then being displaced, coming to our house 2 times in a row. And they escaped the Cleveland Browns. They escaped the Cleveland Browns. They didn't dominate the Cleveland Browns. They escaped them. And they come into play the red-hot Detroit Lions, who you can see the swag. Remember Deion saying, who is swag if I ain't swag? Baby, who is swag if I ain't swag? Now, I know it's swag and not swag, but who is swag if I ain't swag? Because these guys, our Detroit Lions, are swagging right now. They feeling it. You see the locker room celebrations. You see Jared Goff at the podium. You see this team feeling themselves. That is why I believe the Detroit Lions win this game. And even if we start getting whipped up on, I'm telling you, man, I keep going back to this all the time. The best fictional character of all time is Rocky Balboa. Even if we getting whipped on, I am not going to throw in the towel tomorrow. I'm going to Apollo Creed that thing until the bell, until the game is over. No matter what, don't you throw that towel. I'm not going to stop rooting for my team until it says 000, because guess what? I believe they can win. I even saw yesterday Mike Valenti had a big old jug of Kool-Aid, and he was tossing it back. And you know what I realized, y'all? And I'm proud of myself. I'm proud of myself because I realized that a lot of people are scared. They scared, man, because we've been hurt But when you start making videos about the Detroit Lions or whatever, people are very critical of you. Oh, well, you said this. Well, you said that. And I'm going to go ahead and say it. People are scared to say the word playoffs. Well, if we win this game, I'll say playoffs. If we win that game, I'll say playoffs. If we beat the New York Giants, I'll say playoffs. If we beat the Buffalo Bills, I'll say playoffs. Matt Derry, playoffs, man. I'm not going to say it just yet. Why not? Not only are we on the graphic, we're in the hunt, and we're number 10. 2 weeks ago, we were number 16 with the first pick in the 2023 NFL Draft. The Detroit Lions select. Now, we are 10th in the NFC. The Super Bowl champion LA Rams underneath us. The Kyler Murray-led Arizona Cardinals underneath us. Justin Fields' Cuzzo underneath us. I told y'all 8-2. Easy. With this hodgepodge mystery man. That's who these guys are. These guys are the mystery men. Shout out to my guy, Steelers Nation Australia. He calls the Syndicate the mystery man. Bunch of people thrown together, doing their thing. This Detroit Lions team is the mystery man. And with the confidence that they're going into, you got to remember, the Lions could be 1-9. I'm starting to kind of get goosebumps a little bit. Because last year, this team was 0-10-1. And they battled against the Minnesota Vikings. And they got that dub. The last 7 games, they went 3-3-1. A kicker away from 4-3 to end the season. Now that miss kicked, that tie got us Aiden Hutchinson. Because without it, we're not number 2. David says the Buffalo are the Arizona game of last year. Lions Mania says not quite. I understand what David's point is this, not Lions Mania. Nobody gave us that game. They came to our house. You, me, and no other Lions creator and or fan was giving the Detroit Lions a win. And guess what we did? We came out and smoked them. Yeah, we tried to give it back at the end. But we came out and smoked them. Imani was playing lights out. Remember, there was no Jeff Okudah. We had our way with the Arizona Cardinals. The 7-0 who started off 7-0. They weren't 7-0 when we played. So that's the point that I think David's trying to make. The Arizona Cardinals was that game that when we was like, we about to lose this game. This game, man. You know, you just let's sit here and watch this beat now. Then you're like, oh, shoot, we scored. Oh, man, we up. It's like 20-something to nothing. What is happening? Even the announcer was like, yeah, they didn't even know what to say. The Lions players have foam coming out of their mouth when the kickoff starts. 1 Pride 40, that's facts. Did you see Jared Goff's interview with Dan Miller? I saw it Wednesday. Wait, I'm sorry, Tuesday, because today is Wednesday. I'm sorry, Monday. Dan Miller does a show, and I want to say he talks to Jared Goff. You know what Jared Goff said? He asked him about Buffalo. He said, we wish we could play him right now. And I think that this game, not only does the crowd believe, the team believes. And I think this is not the same 1-6 team that was facing the Green Bay Packers. This is a team that has the ability to go undefeated in the month of November. Undefeated in the month of November. At the crib. You don't think they're hearing right now that this is the second biggest game in Ford Field history as far as crowd? You don't think they're hearing that right now? Jared Goff said yesterday, somebody asked him about playoffs, and he said, yeah, I mean, we know what we got to do. We know what we got to do, right? I talked to my man Jay, Let's Talk Lions. He'll be down there tomorrow, tailgating, 9:30. I said, hey, man, bring us that win. Bring us that win. Patty says golf balls out, make his haters cry. I'm sorry, Patty. Haters gonna hate. It's period. He can do whatever you do, haters are still going to hate. Goff could throw for 4 touchdowns like he did earlier this season. No interceptions like he did earlier this season. Same game. And people going to be like, nah. Jared Goff's not it. He's not it. No explanation. He's just not it. But you know what? I don't care about none of that right now. I care about the Buffalo Bills and the fact that my team. Yes, absolutely, Mr. Poole. Buffalo classy. Didn't break any tables. And what is this? What is this Buffalo thing with tables? I showed my son last night. I was like, what are we doing here? Michael says, I'll be at that game. Fans will be hyped. Let's go. 41-38 Lions win. You know what, Michael? Shout out to you. Hey, drink responsibly, my man. Okay? And that goes for anybody else going. I can't do it. It's going to be 12:30. Don't forget, y'all got to get back home, have some turkey. Enjoy time with the family. I'm going to be sitting right here all day long. Durr says, I know that's not me, but I give plenty of reasons. No, that's not you. That's not you. Okay, let me see what this comment is saying because I want to see if it's relevant. Somebody said one thing to consider is the Bills played in Detroit last week. That might help them this game. I doubt it. But, Michael, bring us that win, bro. Bring us that win because I'm going to tell you what happens if we get that win. Undefeated in the month of November, 4-0. We beat 2 winning teams. Done something we haven't done in 60 years. Have to be the best record in November. I don't think anybody else has gone undefeated. Beat the Buffalo. Beat not just any team, y'all. The Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen. Who is a taller, stronger Patrick Mahomes. One Pride 40 says, I think Reynolds comes back tomorrow. He is not listed as out, so that's a good thing. I believe you're right. Jamison Williams is cleared to practice. Y'all saw the interview yesterday. Said my skill set is different. I'm ready to put my cleats on. Let me in, coach. Put me in, coach. They're buying in, y'all. And this is going to lead me to my segment. The Detroit Lions need a win tomorrow. A win would go a long way, but Lions fans, nobody is giving us a chance to win this game. 10.5-point underdogs according to ESPN. Buffalo is a scary team, but you know who else? Who might not be scary, but they hot? We are. I'm tired of not believing in this team. I believe in these guys. Even with no Jeff Okudah, he is out tomorrow. With every wins are great, and that would be fantastic. And I'm telling you what, nobody is going to want to play the Detroit Lions in the month of November if they win tomorrow. But guess what? Here's what I think. Hear me out. The Detroit Lions have a chance to go 5-6, hosting the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Minnesota Vikings back-to-back home games. Okay? And that's what I'm hoping for, because a win against the Buffalo Bills will change the whole narrative for our team. And depending on how convincingly we beat them, it's even better. But there's a chance we lose. Nobody expects us to win this game, even Detroit Lions fans. But if we lose this game, it's still not the end of the world. I did a simulator on Monday night. I'm confusing my days. And even at 8-9, the Detroit Lions can make the playoffs. Now, in my calculations, the Lions they need to go 5-2. 6-1 would be fantastic. And now that we're winning, is a 5-game winning streak against the teams that we're facing outlandish? Nope. Not against the teams that we got to play. Is it outlandish to think that we can't make a run? But if the Detroit Lions lose tomorrow and they drop to 4-7, it's not over yet. We need a lot of help as it is, but we need to handle our business and win. That's number one. However, with the loss, it's not the end of the world. I did like I said, a scenario 8-9. The more we lose, the more help we need. The more we win, the more we dictate our fate. But we can still make the playoffs with a loss tomorrow. In my opinion, the Lions, it would be better to go ideally undefeated, right? 6-1, 5-2. 5-2 would put us at 9-8 on the year. And I projected before we knew the NFL and NFC was going to be as abysmal as it's been, that would get us in the playoffs. I think an 8-9 would get us a 6 seed. I'm sorry, 9-8. 8-9 will get us squeaking in. But there is a scenario that the Lions can make the playoffs with 3 if they go 4-3 over the next 5 games. And I think one of the ways that they win tomorrow is to unleash DeAndre Swift, like somebody was saying in the chat a little earlier. They have to. Everyone has to contribute tomorrow. Tomorrow is a team game from start to finish. Hutch, Rodrigo, Goff, Swift, Williams, Reynolds. If you can play, you are going to try to play tomorrow. Jay says, what if we went out, Grid? Then we have to be one of the greatest stories in the NFL in the past 25 years. Real talk. With a Lions win tomorrow, it changes the whole trajectory. Gaddy says the Lions are the team that has little expectations and basically has nothing to lose. They play harder and use it like a chip on their shoulder to go out and win. 100%. I just tell you what. I got to wrap the show up a little early, but I tell you what. This team has really turned things around. We went from some of us wanting to see Dan Campbell out the door next year to, hey, maybe he is the guy. Or you know what? He is the guy. He's learned from his coaching mistakes. This team is behind him. The fan base is behind him. I want y'all to think about this as you enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. Tomorrow is a big game. Doesn't tomorrow feel like a playoff game or a Super Bowl? It does, doesn't it? Because it means so much. So much. This isn't the Chicago Bears. This is the Super Bowl pick Buffalo Bills, who, even though they have a hurt quarterback, team has been skidding for the last couple of weeks, not as dominant as they were, that everyone seems to think that we are going to get mollywopped. And guess what? Even if we're down 14, I'm going to believe in this team. That's something I could not have said 3 weeks ago. Like, I'm serious, y'all. This is not Kool-Aid. This isn't typical, fluff. I'm like, bro, this team was right there. But we were so clouded by the losses and how we got them that we couldn't see what those guys saw. Jared Goff saw it. Dan Campbell saw it. We didn't see it, but I see it now. I see it now. And I see that with the loss, I'm not going to flip out tomorrow. I'm not going to flip out at all. But with the win, the whole world is going to know. I'm telling you, listen, I'll end the show on this. If you're not scared of the Detroit Lions going into this game, they win this game, you're going to be terrified of them. Because you don't believe that the NFL has seen how we lost the first part of the season. The joke was our defense can't stop anybody, and they were true. While we're one play away from winning those games. Because let's be real. If our offense gets the ball back in those situations, we win those games. Against the Seattle Seahawks, against the Minnesota Vikings. We fell apart against the Dallas Cowboys, and we were never in the game against the New England Patriots. I mean, they just won their game on a kickoff return. So it's like Two people I'll never count out, Bill Belichick and Tom Brady. But I'm telling you, Lions fans, no matter what happens tomorrow, man, keep your head up because it ain't over. This team ain't going to give up, and neither should we. Neither should we. And even with a loss, if we get a loss, it ain't over. 9-8 is still possible, especially with our competition come up. Because guess what? If we lose against the Bills and the Minnesota Vikings but beat everyone else, that's 9-8. That puts us in the playoffs. So leave your comments below. A win, we are here. Listen, a win means the Lions are here. I will believe what Jared Goff said. I believe it now. But I think the rest of the world will believe it if we beat the Buffalo Bills. With that being said, you guys are awesome, man. Take care of yourself. I will see you tomorrow. Get ready. Because if the Lions win this game, the whole NFL is on notice.